When you think of superheroes, you probably think of, something like this, Batman. Or hell, something like this, John Cena. But there's one thing about those two. They don't actually exist. But you know who's not fake? This guy right here. Now that's what you call a real-life superhero. I know, pretty impressive, right? And that's what this whole video is going to be about. Real-life superheroes. From Finland to Mexico and a couple other countries. Okay, so our first superhero, I'll put a photo of him on the screen. He goes by the name of Shadow Hair. He's known for wearing a handmade black suit with stylized hair on the front alongside with a cape and mask, and he is known to patrol the streets of Cincinnati. Claiming to have a mixed martial arts background, he would frequently patrol large-scale events in Cincinnati and would also hand out meals to the homeless. Pretty good guy. He would even start his own crime-fighting group called the Allegiance of Heroes. They would apparently go around handing out their business cards to people on the street. He would keep crime fighting all the way up till 2009, where he'd eventually dislocate his shoulder while helping a woman that was being robbed, slowing down his career. As of 2010, he apparently joined a branch of the U.S. military, where he still is today, I'd assume. Really couldn't find anything else on this guy. Okay, so next up, this guy isn't like a traditional, crime fighter per se. He hails from Mexico. He goes by the name of Super Barrio Gomez. Here's a photo of him. As you can see, he's rocking, the luchador mask, like Rey Mysterio or something like that. He began crime fighting after the 1985 Mexico City earthquake, which left thousands of people homeless. Then in 1988, he began stopping the eviction of families who paid their rent. There really wasn't much about that. That's all it said on his Wikipedia page. But he'd even informally run for president of the country in 1988 as well, so pretty good year for him, I guess. He's had a couple of books written on him and has appeared in a few documentaries. He really doesn't seem to be doing much now, though. No. Okay, so this is the guy that comes from Finland. His name is Dex Laser Skater. And just look at this guy. Imagine getting mugged, and this is the guy that comes to save the day. I think that would just make things even worse. Alright, but all jokes aside, though, he's apparently been patrolling the streets of Helsinki, Finland since 1997. His costume is based off of a short-lived comic book called The Skate Man. I guess he just rolls around in rollerblades. That's his superpower. On his official wiki page, it says he specializes in, I quote, guiding tourists, tipping waiters, and helping local police. So he's pretty much a certified badass, if you ask me. Okay, I'm going to call this the rapid fire round here. Just going to give a couple of quick ones. The Chinese redbud woman has been spotted assisting the poor in Beijing. Lightstep is a masked patroller currently located in Montreal. He's equipped with a bulletproof vest and a bag with a first aid kit. He also is seen wearing a Sin Cara mask. If anybody knows the pro wrestler, I thought that was kind of funny. And finally, there's a man known as the Black Rat of Sydney, Australia, that carries a utility belt and a backpack containing a fire blanket, fire extinguisher, first aid kit, and drinking water. He has campaigned for better lighting in the streets and more convenient community involvement in local neighborhoods. Okay, so the first couple were just crime fighters, they were kind of just people that liked helping other people out. But this guy, the last guy, this is a real life superhero for real. Alright, goes by the name of Phoenix Jones, and is definitely the most notorious out of all of these. He's actually the inspiration for this video. Okay, like I said, this guy isn't a joke. He has his own origin story, alright? So he's already way better than all the other ones. I'll read it word for word. Jones has said he wanted to take policing matters into his own hands after his car was broken into and his son was injured upon returning to the vehicle. He had seen multiple people that were apparently eyewitnesses, but they didn't do anything about it, and that obviously pissed him off, which is pretty fair. He's also got a mixed martial arts background with 11 pro fights, 7 of those being wins. Now, Jones would start out just simply with a ski mask, and the basic stuff, but over time he developed his own superhero costume, equipped with a bulletproof vest and its own damn utility belt. All right. He would even go on the CBS News Network and show off his costume. I'll put a clip of that on right now.
Just about every night, an anonymous Seattle man strolls into this comic store, enters a hidden back room, and emerges transformed.
My name is Phoenix Jones.
He's the hero Dan's been trying to tell his friends about.
People are saying, no way, dude. No way. They're like, oh, you were probably drunk.
But he sounded familiar to us. We'd heard about how he and the other 8 members of his Rain City superhero crime-fighting movement walked the streets, eyes out for crime, prepared to fight it. And we brought these two together.
That's crazy.
Nice to meet you, brother. How you doing?
It's good to meet you, man. Wow, that's insane, man.
Phoenix explained his whole supersuit to Dan.
That's a taser nightstick.
And he showed him the bulletproof vest and stab plates.
You know, I've got mace/tear gas.
He would also start his own superhero fighting group, known as the Rain City Superhero Movement in 2011. It was based out of Seattle, where he was from. Now, this group was actually kind of successful. They'd stop a couple of crimes, including when they stopped a group of 4 people pretending to be law enforcement that were checking the pockets of a blind guy. That's a serious thing that they did. They would also stop numerous carjackings and other petty crimes. All good things must come to an end, though, as in 2014, Jones would disband the group. And he really wouldn't do any more crime fighting from there on out. The most recent thing I could find on him was in 2020, when he was caught selling, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word, I'll just put it on the screen, to an undercover police officer, and he would be arrested. They also found 4 grams of cocaine on the guy, so I guess he turned into a supervillain, I don't know. So yeah, this was just a silly little video. I've never made a video like this before, actually like talking and stuff, so if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe. And also, if you want to learn more about Phoenix Jones, this guy named Dan Tavius made a whole 20-minute video on it. He goes way more in depth. So thanks for watching.